city lights and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. Cause up here it's breakneck, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5. Happy with the simple life. Yeah, I ain't here to try to change your mind, trying to save your time. In case you're thinking about breaking out the bucket list, girl, you can skip this funny business. Cause up there it's complicated and overrated. Down here everything is understated. That's alright by me. I got everything that I need, but there is breakneck, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. All my friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cool night. Yeah, you can keep your 9 to 5, cause I'm happy with the simple life. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knew my name, and all my friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, you can keep your 9 to 5, cause I'm happy with the simple life. Oh Lord, you can keep your 9 to 5. Man, I always had stories about the city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. Cause up here it's breakneck, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5. Happy with the simple life. Yeah, I ain't here to try to change your mind, trying to save your time. In case you're thinking about breaking out the bucket list, girl, you can skip this funny business. Cause up there it's complicated and overrated. Down here everything is understated. That's alright by me. I got everything that I need, but there is breakneck, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name.
What is up? What is up? What is up, FSClub? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to day 2 of FarmCon. And Pogo's already starting it. Pogo, you just need to slap you, dude. But anyways, how is everybody's day going? Hopefully the stream looks a little bit clearer. Well, I'm talking about the webcam looks a little bit clearer because I've been messing around with it all day today. I also have a new lens coming in, so hopefully that also helps. But how is everybody's day going? How you doing, Glenn? Hey, Wilkie. Hey, Diesel. Okay, guys, we got about 4 minutes until FarmCon 21 Day 2 starts, which today, guys, we're going to be looking at Giants Engine number 9. We're going to be watching gameplay and production chains. Looking good, looking good. Hey, how you doing, Jeremy? How you doing, Ohio? How you doing, Daniel? It looks very clear. Okay, good. Like I said, I even put my ring light. I moved it over to actually around the camera, so that should also help. Yeah. Okay. Looking forward to actual in-game play. Me too. I've been waiting for this. Also have some new background lights coming too, so. Clear here? Okay, good, good, good. Okay, let's actually turn it on to the main. There we go, guys. Let me actually get that bottom thing gone right there. I don't need my taskbar. There we go. The stream is on YouTube on FS. If you prefer, the stream is on YouTube on FS's channel. Oh, no, it's fine. I'm good with Twitch.
Come on, Polo. Now we can play ATS.
Yeah, since you can't get him on FarmCon.
I'll tell Ramco on him when he comes back.
I've been waiting for this day.
Let Ramco have him out in the field for days for a week.
I've been waiting for this day to see FS22 gameplay since FS19 came out. I'm just playing.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm just playing. Thank you, Angel. Yes, I'm very excited to see what the gameplay is going to be. I'm optimistic. Please don't let me down. How you doing, Christian? Okay, guys, remember, we have 190 people in here. Let's see if we can hit that like button. Let's see if we can hit 100 before the stream even starts. We have 2 minutes. 2 minutes, come on. Just got out of the pool. You hush it. Oh, Pogo.
He sucks.
Pogo, did you see my lunch, Pogo? It was an amazing lunch. Chloe ate about 1/3 of it, and she was full.
I wonder why.
It was so good, though. I'm probably gonna hurt later, though.
Yeah, you probably are.
Uh-huh.
What was that, fries on top of the hot dog?
Yep. It was fries, cheddar cheese, cheese sauce, bacon, and ranch.
Ew.
No, dude. No, you think, ew, but best hot dog I've ever ate in my life. Seriously, hands down.
Okay, I don't like ranch, so yeah.
It's not like wait. You said you don't like ranch?
No, I don't like ranch.
And then it was silence.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
That's for Wolf right there. Hey, Amanda, how you doing? Okay, by the way, guys, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'll eat Cool Ranch Doritos, but I can't eat ranch dressing.
Oh, by the way, guys, we just hit 107 likes before the stream starts. Okay, we got 1 minute left. We got 1 minute. We have 201 people in here. If we can hit 150 before this minute is up, I will give everybody 200,000 FSC bucks in here right now. But we have to hit 150. We have 40 seconds left. I mean, we have definitely enough people to actually hit it, so. I mean, I'll even hit it myself. There we go. 119. We got 30 seconds. 125. Oh, dude, tell me to shut up. Are you telling me to shut up, dude? Bye-bye.
Sassy on before you did.
Oh, 20 seconds. 20 seconds. We need 18 likes. He's probably the one that hit that dislike button. Hey, Lunatic, how you doing, buddy? Oh, here we go. 5, 4. Wait, there's the countdown right there. Why am I? Let me actually turn it on. There it goes.
Hey, Lunatic.
Hey, Lunatic.
Welcome to day 2 of FarmCon 21. I hope you enjoyed the presentations yesterday.
Definitely
And
press something, guys, because I'm going to be giving you guys some
FSC
FSC bucks.
later this year on November 22nd.
You guys didn't hit it, but I'll give you guys some
Coincidentally,
of it.
today is also the 22nd, so it's the perfect date to give you a deep look into the game. But more about that later. In the past few weeks, I've been thinking about our very first FarmCon 16 very often. A small tent in the garden of a former mill, way too crowded for a hot summer day, but we had long personal conversations with many.
We'll turn the volume up a little bit.
Today, you can also chat with us.
There you guys go.
Here in the stream.
If it's too loud, let me know.
Or on our Discord server during and after the show. I was told that you like raffles, so keep an eye on the chat. From time to time, you will be able to win something there. But I won't tell you now when. You have to keep watching. So let's move on to our first topic today. You might be wondering what I'm doing here in front of a tractor engine. I could pretend that I know what all these parts are doing, but honestly, I don't. Yet I could drive this tractor or a car without having to know what's going on under the hood. It's the beating heart though, and everything else is built around it. In video games, it's similar. I could play Farming Simulator, have fun, learn all the mechanics and features, while in the background, the Giants engine is making it all possible.
Hoping, Thomas.
Since the first Farming Simulator came out in 2008, we've added a lot of features to the Giants engine and continuously upgraded it. Farming Simulator 22 will be based on the Giants Engine 9, and I'm glad that we have someone who can tell you all about it. I'll pass over to our lead software
Here's the
engineer,
new engine,
Thomas
guys.
Brunner in Zurich, Switzerland. Grüezi.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm the lead engineer at
Turn the volume up.
Giant Software. Today I'm going to show you guys some updates made
That's all the way up
in-house
right there,
developed
guys.
game engine. People often ask why we are not using Unreal or some comparable engine. They ask
Is that
why
better?
we go through all the pain of coding everything ourselves. So there's no doubt using an existing engine such as Unreal would solve a lot of problems and also would provide
Hey, Tyler.
a lot of features just out of the box. However, Farming Simulator has some special requirements which would make adapting existing engines quite difficult. For instance,
volume
the
down?
dynamic and static foliage system,
you don't want
which
my
is
volume
fully
down.
synchronized in our
It's supposed to be
engine,
over the video, not
would
under the video.
be very difficult to implement or adapt in existing engines. Also, our vehicles have quite demanding requirements which cannot be simulated by physics systems of other engines. Apart from this, we have also other reasons which goes beyond just the features. Namely, we want to decide when and what features change during the development. This is especially important to make modding as simple as possible. Also, with other engine, modding wouldn't be even possible, or at least not in that extent we are offering it. So in the latest Giants engine, we added some new features for you guys. We added DirectX 12 support on PC. We have like the new optimization techniques, like the texture streaming system, occlusion culling, and various other graphics features. Farming Simulator 22 is going to be shipped using DirectX 12 API. This allows us to write more efficient code and to reduce the CPU overhead we had with the previous rendering APIs. DirectX 12 also allows us to use more cores. Texture streaming allows us to put more details onto our maps, and we no longer need to make sure that we can load all full resolution textures from the beginning. So in previous Farming Simulator version, we always loaded all the textures in the GPU memory at the very beginning. This is basically a good approach if you have enough GPU memory. But if you have like very high quality textures or even too many textures, the game gonna crash or you end up with a very low frame rate. The lack of the texture streaming system in previous Farming Simulator version was the main reason for the relatively restricting slot system we had on consoles. Occlusion culling basically prevents the engine from performing expensive rendering computation of completely hidden objects. For a better understanding, let me show you guys an example in our editor. So this is a very simple scene I've prepared you guys to show how occlusion culling roughly works. For instance, here we have like a big wall which can potentially hide other objects, right? It makes sense to have this wall set as an occluder. And if I place now the camera right behind the wall, I can't see the spheres behind, right? The occlusion culling system decides now that there is no need to compute these 3 spheres.
Oh, okay, I get what they're talking about there.
This can be checked here in our rendering stats. As you can see here, the occluded shape counts increase to 3. And we have 1 occluded geometry here. So I can move slightly the camera to the side until a sphere becomes visible here. Here we have the occluded shape count decreases to 2. And this is what occlusion culling does. And it also only makes sense to have occluded geometry.
There we go, there's some gameplay right there.
Of course, right? Only big objects can potentially hide others. Also worth mentioning
that traffic's going a lot faster.
In Farming Simulator 22, the terrain is also acting as an occluded geometry. The terrain occluded geometry is automatically generated and updated. Giant's engine uses a high-quality TAA algorithm by default, but it can also disable if you don't like the result or for performance reasons. In previous games, we enabled MSAA as a default anti-aliasing technique. Compared to MSAA, TAA leads usually to better results. To show you better the difference between these two approaches, let me show you guys an example here in the game. Even with MSAA on, there are a lot of visible specular highlights flickering.
Burst out? Is that what that is?
This vehicle here. All these metal bars here suffering quite a lot of this rendering artifact. Now let's enable TAA and see how the image looks like. As you see, with TAA on, specular highlights.
See right there, where does it say?
Really
wait, there's higher AI worker right there.
Also added
it doesn't have the AI menu.
All terrain textures.
So, another brand just got announced right there, Birthhound.
To approximate
I've never heard of them before.
Mapping. It's a technique to approximate geometric details without the cost of the actual geometry. So let's compare the difference between having parallax occlusion culling on and off. For instance, here we have a little path
Thank you, Nuclear. Who did you go to yesterday's?
Which has a lot of stones on it. So currently we have the parallax occlusion system turned off, and even though we have a normal map applied here on the terrain, it still looks a bit boring and flat. It doesn't look really 3D.
Oh.
Now let's activate the parallax occlusion culling. It looks way more interesting. Everything is kind of like popping out of the scene. We also improved the shadow map renderings quite a lot. One of the most notable changes there is that we are now able to render the shadows much further away. That actually really helps to improve the visual quality and distance. We even see the shadows in the very far distance. For instance, the trees here are dropping shadows everywhere. Let's compare with the previous solution we had in 19. There is no shadow in the distance at all. So I think this is really a big improvement regarding the visual quality. Apart from the features I've presented you guys, we also worked on other stuff like the traffic vehicle AI system, pedestrians system, and we also added some new multiplayer feature which hasn't been announced yet. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's all from the engineering team. I wish you guys a lot of fun on FarmCon 21 and see you soon. Cheers.
You just hear what he just said. New multiplayer feature.
Thank you, Thomas.
Let us know.
I've been listening to your talk on the tractor, I swear. I'm sure these engine updates will look great. So let's introduce you to another engine. He is one of our US ambassadors. Usually getting up early and still always full of energy. Not sure what he's running on, but here's DJ Goham.
What's going on, everybody? DJ GoHam here. Welcome to FarmCon 2021. This year, just like last year, is a little bit different since we're all having to watch from home. Since Farming Simulator 22 is releasing this year, you know this FarmCon's gonna be crazy. I want to give a quick shout out to the GoHam fam and all of you guys watching live right now. Farming Simulator is such a community-driven video game, and it is so exciting to have such a wonderful large community supporting the game. Without you guys, nothing that we do would be possible, so thank you. With all that, back to you guys.
Behind me, you can already see Kenny and Stefan setting up their gear for the next presentation. And I'm really looking forward to this one. There's no special topic for it, but let's just call it a first look at Farming Simulator 22. We've already told you about big features like the seasonal changes or the production chains, but there's so many new features in Farming Simulator 22 that not all of them make it into the big news. Stefan is very good at explaining them to me at the office. Kenny, on the other hand, has to make sure that they all get tested. So I am so glad that both of them have the time. What happened? What did you do?
I just plugged that cable in. Did look important to me.
Just because you create doesn't mean that you have to touch everything.
Hey, look, you're using an Xbox controller.
Guys. I got an idea. I got here something.
Ta-da! Yeah, okay, it's nice, but I don't think it's enough, Stefan, sorry, but while you're trying to fix the light, let me tell our viewers more about the beacon light. The USB beacon light is included in the Farming Simulator 22 Collector's Edition, available for PC in a lot of countries. It's specially made to work with Farming Simulator, and whenever you switch on the beacon lights in the game, they start glowing. And when you turn them off in the game, they turn off on your desk again. So cool. The Collector's Edition is very limited, but you can pre-order it now, as well as other versions of Farming Simulator 22 available digitally and at disc at retail stores. You might also notice that similar to Farming Simulator 17, we will have different tractors on the covers in the various regions around the globe.
I think I got it. Hang on. Helper B got stuck and caused a short circuit.
Okay, I guess I'll leave you two. What's the
Seriously?
rest in the production room? Go fix everything. I'll take that beacon light. And you guys, enjoy the presentation.
Helper B.
Alrighty. So, hi, I'm Ken Burgess, the QA lead here at Giant Software, and I'm joined today by Stefan. Stefan, you want to give a little introduction who you are?
Hello everyone, my name is Stefan Maurus. I'm a gameplay programmer and lead vehicle integrator here at Giant Software, and today we are going to show you a bit of live gameplay.
Yes, this is basically the first time ever that we're showing any gameplay from the upcoming Farming Simulator 22. The reason why we brought Stefan onto this presentation as well is because he's done lots of little side features as well in terms of like vehicle integration and just a few the geek features, as we like to call them, basically.
Yeah.
So let's dig right into it. Stefan, what's the first thing we want to talk about today?
Yeah, so first I want to talk a bit about new ground. So as we already posted on our website, we introduced the parallax occlusion mapping, and this also affects the ground textures of the terrain itself, not only on the field. And you can perfectly see it here on this way to the field. So you see all these little stones are coming a bit out of the ground.
Yeah, I think even like once you start moving around, this is when the ground actually just becomes alive and just fully three-dimensional.
The ground does look a lot
you
better.
really see the single rocks and bits and pieces, and this is the case with each like ground texture we have in the game? Then?
Yeah. So each of them has their own height map. So yeah, of course, stones are the highest ones here on the terrain. But also the grass and
look at that highway back there.
More three-dimensional.
Definitely more vibrant. Brings a new feel to how the game world just feels when walking around or also driving, because we have the same thing over here on the field as well.
Yeah. You don't really see it here now because there's a straw on the field, so it's a bit covered. But later on, I prepared a cultivator, so there you see it pretty well, and also with plowing, you see it really nice.
So we already see what do we see right now here on the field? That's
John Deere
wheat,
7810.
it doesn't look like the wheat from FS19. Definitely.
Yeah. So we updated the textures there and also the 3D models, so it looks way better.
Look at the PDA down there.
See it here,
Joe. You see that?
and also the stubbles on the field, and you see it also. That you don't see the ground that much as in FS19, so it's more
very
more
dense,
covered
definitely
surface. So we
and also I noticed the other day while testing the game. I mean, that's the nice thing. Stefan, he creates things, I break them, basically. But I noticed that while testing with our
New
wind
Holland
effects and everything
was
we
a
have in game, the new foliage
CH770.
just looks so
Just gonna say that.
vibrant. You can even
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the little waves and ripples going through it at times. It's really, really cool.
it's
Is that
it's
sorghum
hard
right
to
there?
see. Maybe if we enter.
I think some
Vehicle.
foliages you see it more.
Move your
Yeah.
laptop.
But
Move
if
your
you have a
laptop.
closer look here, maybe on the TV it's not really visible, but you see really the wind waves. It depends also on the wind
Oh, it's
intensity.
sweet.
And also
That's a
on
lot
your
more yellow.
distance of the
Yeah,
foliage, whatever you
exactly.
have.
But it looks really
Or is that just
nice.
me?
Before it was only just waving
you're right.
every time the same, but now it's really dynamic and makes it more realistic.
Yeah, I mean, side note here, this is also kind of ties in, I believe. I'm not sure if Jos already talked about it, but with the seasonal, like the seasonal mode we have in game and the seasons that's directly integrated. Of course, we have different weather types in the game as well.
Yeah.
The wind will change, the direction will change as well.
Also the direction changes. So if now the wind comes from the back and you see it, like this here, but it can also change the direction and you directly see that on the fields. Yeah.
All right.
So we got here our
wind
New
changes
Holland,
directions, and you
combine
can see it on the
harvester,
field.
The CH7.70. We already showed that on some screenshots. So, like a smaller combine from New Holland.
A good starting combine.
Yeah, exactly. And now we can just start to harvest. I already did some bits.
You did a little bit of pre-work.
Yeah, that doesn't take too long here. So
that's new.
Oh, that
That's
looks
new.
so much better. Look at that.
Some of you might already noticed it, but we improved the effects here at the back. So the
Wow.
straw that's coming out of the combine. So it looks, more 3D now. Before it was only a 2D mesh and the texture scrolling over it. But now it's really 3D particles that's coming out of the combine.
You can almost smell all of the dust in the air with these particles.
Yeah, and also
But
the dust at the
chopped
back.
straw is looking amazing.
Yeah. And you also have kind of the, also similar improved effects at the front.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a close look here.
The take-in effects, basically.
Yeah, we improved them a lot. So you now really see how each crop is coming into the header and then feed it into the combine harvester.
Nice.
And there we got also different effects for different header types.
Okay.
So like this is just a normal cutter, but you also have draper headers, the ones with the belts. And you really see that the crops fall onto the belt.
They move
and
differently
then move into the center. So it's
Wow.
individual for all headers.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there's something very specific, though, I know you worked on regarding like headers specifically in the whole harvesting process. Something that hasn't been part of FS19 so far. Maybe we want to reveal a little bit
Yeah,
about that.
If you have a close look here, yeah, you barely see it. So the header is not completely straight. It's here a bit down, just a few
it's a little
centimeters.
shifted.
But now we introduced the automatic header tilt and height control. So the header is automatically detecting the height of the ground and is adjusting to it, and also tilting
Zachary,
the header
welcome to the
so
club.
it perfectly matches the ground.
Okay.
Wow.
So it doesn't. It does not only have a visual effect. On this field, we barely see it, but some you.
I think
see
once
it a
you
bit
get
more.
started harvesting on the Alpine map, for example.
yeah. But also for mod maps that have some steeper slopes, it also improves the driving, so you don't get stuck on the header and that. So.
And this is the case for every header in the game?
And not every. The ones that only also got that in real life. So not every header got a tilt control. So the height control is implemented on all headers to improve that.
It's a lot brighter,
but
isn't
the
it?
tilt is only on that support that in real life. For example, on older combines you don't have that in real. So only on the new ones.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, we have a little something more planned later
Casey.
on, but for now, after harvesting our grain here, something else we might want to show. You already parked some trailers in the back. Those are also new.
Yeah. So we got another brand, Rudolph. The German trailer brand. So and we got some really nice trailers from them. So let's just tip that into that. Then I can show you the trailers. So pretty nice ones. Yeah. So we got some more,
Dollies.
not only these two. So they're the same. But yeah, they're really nice. And pretty nice new wheels, so that are from Continental. Yeah, especially
Continental
these
tires now.
road wheels are new, so we haven't had them branded yet.
Okay.
But now we got them also branded and not as Lizard.
Oh.
Continental.
Yeah, they look really nice.
And didn't they also announce Nokian too?
The new profile on there.
The profile is more 3D. So, and we also got from Continental the wheels on our really nice John Deere. So they're also really nice. So this is also the white configuration for the wheels. So it looks pretty good on our John Deere. So also a new tractor. Yeah, basically everything new. Older tractor from John Deere was built end of the 90s. And yeah, as a young timer in the game now, we can just enter.
I also see in the front that's a new weight. We have new weights
that's
as
also
well.
New. Yeah, we got some 10 Winkel weights, also a German brand. And yeah, we got a whole bunch of weights in all.
A series of them, yeah.
Yeah, the game now. Yeah, and they're also universal for all the tractors. If you hear a bit of the game, I hope you hear it well. You also hear the manual shifting of this tractor. So because this tractor is manual shifted with.
Yeah, I think we have not talked about anything of that yet. Yes, we have gear shifting.
We have gear shifting.
Something that you've worked on for quite a while, I believe.
Yeah, it's a really tricky topic because it's not really easy to do, especially the automatic shifting of these gears, because if you don't want to shift, some players don't want that to shift manually, you have to automatically shift.
Mike, welcome to the club.
Like nearly perfect to handle all the different situations of the game, and that's quite tricky.
Yeah, I mean, like with everything, we have the possibility to turn this like manual gear shift setting on or off, however you prefer to play. If you play on automatic, the game does everything for you. Also, probably something that's been very hard to implement, I'm guessing, is we have such a range of tractors in the game. And some have so many different subsets of gears, and they don't have the same systems.
So it's not like a car.
Yeah.
On a car, it's pretty easy. You have, like 6 gears, 1 reverse gear, and that's it. But on tractors, you like every tractor has a different gearbox. So you have normal gears, then you have groups. Sometimes you have also subgroups that change it a bit. And then
but you
reverse
can
groups.
even see it in game. We built in this little feature here on the lower right in the corner. You see like what the current like gear shifting system is, what what gear it's currently set at. So you can either use that to know when to shift or when not to shift if you're playing with it set to manually, or you also see when playing automatically how the game is shifting gears live in action, basically.
Exactly. So we now see that we are in gear group A, and we are in neutral, so we don't have a gear. And if we accelerate now, we can see that...
we also got to say Stefan is playing on automatic because it would be far too complex to also do this manually, getting up the hill and out on the road.
Yeah, so it's pretty heavy, these two trailers.
Yeah.
But you can see that's automatically changing the gears. And also, if you have a close look, it's also
animated,
the
character animated.
Using the levers here. And also the clutch pedal. So, and the sound, I don't hear it now. But it's really nice. So that's one of my favorite features of the new game.
Look at that gravel road right there.
The sound basically adjusts according to what gear.
Yeah, and sometimes if you got a heavy trailer, it sounds
November
awesome.
22nd.
When the load is kicking in,
look at that.
driving uphill.
Yeah. So we got here a farm. I built here.
Look at that person walking
bits.
over there.
Yeah, hope that looks quite nice.
Hope you don't get stuck on our little fence
Yeah,
here.
I hope. But trailers are pretty long.
They're pretty hard to maneuver.
Yeah.
But this is one of our farm silos that you've placed down here.
Exactly. So also a new brand from Unia, so a Polish brand that's producing such silos. So we got some more of them in different sizes. So you can
we have
choose
a different range of them available in game.
Yeah, so you can choose which size you want, and you also can extend it with silo extensions like you already know from the past games.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And now...
So but what we want to show here now is that when unloading into a silo from your trailer, we also have these nice new sound effects.
You hear the new sounds, so
let's listen.
Yeah, let's listen to that.
There you go.
So you also, if you look, it's the camera. We don't really have that much in the trailer.
Yeah, it was unloaded pretty quickly.
Yeah, I forgot to unload the full combine. Sorry for that.
Didn't have the time to get all of the fuel.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but we can.
But that's the thing. We want to show you as much as we can.
Yeah.
In our time window, of course.
But we can also unload it here to show you the unloading without anything.
Look at those cow animations. Did you just see that?
You can also see that we improved the animation here of the hydraulic
cow
cylinders.
animations look better
In past
too.
Games,
there was actually one laying down, the other ones are moving,
many
and eating grass.
that are extending.
These single pistons.
Yeah, exactly. And in the past, we
models look a lot better.
All at the same time, but now it's more realistic, and they extend one after another.
Yeah, it's this gradual.
Look at that dude just coming up, walking up on them.
Hello. Oh.
Yeah, it's basically this gradual extension of one part.
And if you have a listen to the sound, you also hear when each cylinder is at the end and it's locking into its position. So you also hear that. So that is way more realistic.
Trying to see if I see cows going into each other.
So, but we still have one tipper left that is full.
Yeah, that's still full. I mean, the question is what to do with this.
Yeah, what should we do? Maybe I should get a colleague from me to explain
more. Nice cow barn right there.
Can do. So, yeah. See you later, and I
see you in a bit.
Send you my colleague over.
All right. He will be back in a few minutes, but joining us now is Marius. Marius, for those watching and at home, you want to do a quick introduction, who you are, for those that might not know you yet?
Yeah, I'm Marius. I'm a gameplay programmer at Shine Software, and one of the features I worked on for the next game is now our production chains.
Yes, so very exciting. This is the first time ever we're going to be showing you the gameplay right here for production chains. Two things before we jump in though. First of all, if you have any questions during the presentation as a whole, reminder, after this segment there will be a Q&A with us on Discord, so you can ask all of your questions there.
Here we go, guys. Productions.
And second of all, of course, everything you see here might not be final for the release date, so some things are still a little bit subject to change, and we're constantly working on things. But
yeah, we need 4 more likes to 200. Make sure you guys do hit that like button, guys.
As a whole.
Let's see if we can get 250 to 300.
Stefan and myself, we've
people
already been harvesting some wheat before, and the nice thing is, in previous games, you were able to use the wheat just to like basically sell it directly. And now with production chains, there's this whole new level of gameplay that's introduced to the game. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit about what can we do now with this wheat and with the new production chain system?
Yeah, here now, for example, we have on our new map, we have a grain mill, and before we would just come here and sell the wheat and we would get money for it directly. But now you have the option to deliver it and get flour produced by the grain mill, which you then can use for other products. So that's the chain element, so you don't just sell your goods, but take one good and produce it to a different product, and then can use that to produce more goods or sell these products.
And that's the nice thing about the production chain system with the maps that we launch with the US map here. We have the possibility either to basically purchase the pre-existing ones, because there are some buildings, production chain buildings, that are basically pre-placed in the map, or of course you can also place them yourselves, where if you purchase some land, for example, just create it, paint it with our landscaping mode as you see fit, maybe place a few trees or fences there and just place your building right there, and you can use that as well. So we see Marius is already unloading some of our freshly harvested grain, and the mill is going to run on itself now. And we also have very nicely our audio guys worked on that. They have their own like idle sound and also like a working sound as well.
So as you can see now in the bottom corner, we have delivered our wheat to our grain mill, and it's now currently producing flour from it. And as you can see in a few seconds,
thing right there.
We have produced enough flour to get a product from it.
Thing right there.
As you can see now,
there it is.
It produced enough to spawn a pellet, and we can now use this product to bring it, for example, to the bakery, which is a production point as well.
Yeah. So either if you only own the grain mill per se, you can then either sell it directly, because there are like a few other
there it is. There's a production screen right there.
Production chains, but like selling points on the map. I mean, we have, for example, supermarkets and things like that.
Mixed flours, you see right there.
Sell the flour.
Cycles per minute, cost per minute.
You have different options where you can sell your products, and depending on where you get the best price, you have to decide where you want to place it or produce it into other goods.
Now this is already very exciting. This is our
at the
production
bakery
chain, basically the management menu of the flour mill you're currently at. So maybe you can show us a little bit of what do all these numbers and icons mean?
Yeah, it's still not finalized. We're gonna work on it a bit more. But on the left you have an overview over all your production points. And as we can see here, we have our grain mill, which we're currently at. And we have different productions for flour, mainly because we have different grains which can produce flour. Right, and you can turn on and off these productions individually. So right now we can turn on the grain again, because as you can see on the right, we have wheat in our storage.
Yeah. So these production chain buildings, they have their own like building storage. So if it's not currently being like used, you can also use them to basically store a little bit in there and prepare stuff. So because maybe we'll see it later with the bakery, there are some products that use different kind of ingredients. So you have to bring in one, and then of course it's not used up but stored, and then you can bring in the other missing ingredients as well.
in this example, in the grain mill, it's very simple. You only have one input and one output. But there are production points which use a lot of different inputs to produce even multiple outputs. And
do you know what the the one is with the most ingredients?
I think it will be the bakery. So
Okay.
we can see it in a second. And one thing you can do, if you don't want to transport the pellets for yourself, you can simply change the output mode for the product you produce. Right now you can see on the right, it's set to storing, which means it stores the goods produced inside of the production point, and once fill level is reached, a pallet may be spawned, so you can move it yourself.
Okay.
But we can also change it to selling. So now everything which will be produced will be directly sold.
Okay. So if you're playing and you're like, I don't have time for this right now, I need to, I don't know, harvest another field or whatever, can't take care of the loading, it's going to do it automatically, basically.
So basically, if you don't want to do production, you don't
option
have
is
to.
Distribute it, and that's especially useful if you've got already multiple production points. And then the products will be moved to these production points automatically in a certain time interval.
So instead of selling them, we can just basically tell them to, if I have my bakery over here, so that bring it there and keep going. Basically, just store it for the bakery for now, without you having to transport all of the goods.
Right. Of course, it'll cost a bit, so you have an incentive to actually do it yourself. But if you don't want to, you can say just deliver it, and it will be good.
All right.
And now let's see if we can find our bakery.
Our bakery, yeah.
We hop in here
so
again.
Usually you would either use the new distribution method to bring it there directly, or of course then just transport the goods, load them onto a wagon and transport them to the bakery yourself.
Yeah. So like shown here, we loaded some of our flour onto a trailer and moved it to our bakery. And now we can check the bakery as well. You can access it via these triggers, or also in the in-game menu, so you don't have to actually walk there to manage it, but just can open the menu.
So if you're there, just walk up to it, directly trigger the menu to pop up.
I think it's a nice touch to have some physical triggers
as well. It's nice
to
have a little bit of interaction with the game world directly.
And it's not just all in a menu. So we are here now, and as you can see, our storage in the bottom right is empty, so we can't produce anything. And
oh wow, look
now
at the
for the part which I mentioned earlier, the bread is also simple. It just takes flour and produces bread. But the cake is a bit of a different level. So as
many
you can
different
see,
icons.
it takes flour, sugar, milk, eggs,
strawberries,
butter, and strawberries to produce cakes. So if you want to
Is
have
that
cakes, you have to really invest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, those are like many different ingredients you get from many different sources of
maybe greenhouses,
our game and the ways you can like play the game. But of course, the payback is going to be vastly increased if you set out to sell some cake.
So if you've got a production active and it cannot run because either you don't have the ingredients like right now, or the output storage is full and you don't have space to place products anywhere, you get a red indicator here, so you can just quickly check the menu and see if there are any productions that don't run.
So you immediately see where basically your, as the word is, a production chain. It's like a process, and you can immediately spot where's the bottleneck, what's halting me from producing further goods.
As you can see here, our grain mill is still running fine. You have wheat as an input and it outputs products.
Yeah, you've seen butter. That means you got to take milk to like a butter place.
We don't have any of the required inputs.
Yeah, I mean those are already like a bunch of different ingredients, but with the whole
goes like strawberry
production
cheesecake
chain system as a whole,
oh my god,
there's like a lot of different new, not fill types, but like these product types that are coming into the game with this new gameplay element being production chains. So as the main developer behind production chains as a whole, what would you say was like the most like the most difficult thing to bring it into the game? Was there anything that you guys stumbled upon, or something that you maybe didn't think about before initially when you worked on the concept?
Yeah, like with adding new stuff, one of the main concerns is always making it work on a larger scale. Like doing the first prototype is always okay, but then you have to think about how will it work in multiplayer, how will it work if people have 30 or 40 different production points. So we always have to build our features that they scale well, and will work for every player.
And also something probably a lot of you players are wondering, like how do the production chains come into play in multiplayer? Because in single player you load up the map and you have the choice of either like placing them yourself or purchasing like a pre-existing production point, like we've seen with the sugar mill or maybe like the bakery. And how does it work in multiplayer with like different farms and stuff?
Yeah, each farm can still have their own production points.
So there can be different bakeries,
yes,
for example.
But if you want to deliver to a different farm, you're gonna sell your goods there.
Okay.
So that's required. So you still have the option to sell your goods at other farms, but also can have your own products. So you're not limited in any ways that you would not have the option to get rid of your produced goods.
So, but what's really nice though then is saying we're playing in multiplayer and I place down a bakery, although I don't even have the equipment for harvesting wheat or whatever, and I don't have a flour mill, I still, by placing down this bakery and investing in it, am offering like another possible selling station to all the other players. And so it opens up different kinds of way these like our farms can interact with each other.
And of course, if you've got your chain going and you see, okay, there's a bottleneck here, maybe you can place a second grain mill, so you got more wheat or flour to use for your bakeries.
Yeah.
So it's a process of micromanagement. You have to see where do I have to invest more, or where's the problems in my system, where can I improve the overall throughput and gain more revenue.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like it's good if it was a good harvest, like a nice harvest. I have lots of wheat, then partly maybe my flour mill can only handle so much, and you can always sell any excess goods you might have either to other players or of course to other locations in the game world.
With the aspect of the limited storage, you are inclined to use more different stations or store your wheat in your silo.
Okay.
So you cannot just dump like 500,000 liters of wheat at one point, so you have to think a bit more and have to store it and maybe sell it at different stations.
Okay. And of course it also ties in a little bit with our prices system, like the prices management. If there's one player, for example, that sells a lot of wheat, then that price might go down after a while, and you might sit on it if you don't want to get rid of it immediately, wait for a better price. Then of course you have to think about where am I going to store stuff or am I going to invest maybe in a like bakery to produce bread and keep that price going and stuff like this. So the micromanagement aspect I think is something that's going to be very, very cool for players out there, and just in general, even those that maybe focus more on trying to kind of like automate their farm. People that like to play with the AI helper, for example, they can let the AI worker do his or her job, and then just they themselves focus on walking around, transporting the goods that come out to the different production chains. I think the management part might be something that maybe like was missing a little bit before in previous games, and here this is something that really like undermines this.
You have the option to do it, but you're not forced to do it. So
as with everything, of course,
it adds more without forcing players who don't want to use it to spend time with it. Yeah.
Is there any kind of like favorite production point you yourself have, or like not a production point, but maybe like a branch, you know, because there's like these different branches. You have like flour, of course, for the bakery and things. I know, for example, we haven't shown it today, but mine personally, for example, would be the greenhouses, because greenhouses themselves are also
greenhouses.
They're not like they've been in previous farming simulator games where you just place them and get income, but now you can actually use them and they tie into the production chain system. So is there anything in that regard that you would?
Yeah, the greenhouses are pretty cool because we have now the plants which differ based on which you actually grow, and some other production points have some cool animations to them, and we try to make them visually appealing as well. So like here the bakery, where we added some details in the house and around it, so it looks more authentic.
And it kind of fits into like the production chains, all of them, they fit like perfectly into the game world and the design of the maps as a whole. I mean, the nice thing also is the production chains give players a bit of choice, just because for example, this is the actually the European bakery. It has like this European design, but we're playing on the US map. So
about to say that does look European.
We just thought, you know what, this looked nicer. We're just gonna put this here, right on this little cozy area of the game, and that's like the nice thing. I also think for players everywhere, you always have the choice to just grow your farm. Not only the farm, but now with production chains, grow it even further, just as you see fit, basically.
Yeah, for example, if you don't like where the bakery is compared to your grain mill and the distance is too far, you just can say, okay, I'm gonna buy an own bakery and place it nearer to it. So it's easier for me to transport the goods. Or if your big wheat field is far away from the grain mill, just place your own grain mill right next to the wheat field.
Optimize.
Just see what you need and customize the world in the way you like.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that's a nice, very finishing touch. So we're going to say goodbye to Marius for now. Thank you for being here with us today and giving us a little insight into the new production chains coming to Farming Simulator 22.
Productions.
Anytime.
Hey, Canadian. And, very excited about productions.
Yeah, we will bring Stefan right back and continue with a little bit something more.
There's the pre-order right there. The saddle track. Please, manure system in the game. That's really nice, though. It's actually a pretty nice pre-order. Yes, make sure you do hit that like button.
Us now, of course.
We're only 54 away from 300.
We're going to bring him back because we have a little something more to show you. We teased it in the very beginning, something about how great our new ground textures look. Stefan, let's show the players out there how amazing our new... I mean, we have different ground textures now, depending on... We see a new tool here, and we have, depending on what kind of tool you're using, of course, you're going to get different ground types. So maybe we want to talk about that a little bit.
Exactly. So here we got a disc harrow. So you can see it has a lot of small discs that are rotating and are like cutting the ground and mixing it a little bit. So it's a bit different from a normal cultivator. A cultivator works a bit more in depth and really changes the look of the ground.
Are they going to actually have
now
disc harrows and cultivators look different now?
Magnum.
Ooh, I like
the new tractor. You already showed that on some screenshots. It's the brand new Magnum series, also with the 400.
Oh, and you also see here something we had in FS19 with the Platinum add-on, I believe, are crawlers that are now fully three-dimensional as well.
Yeah, we introduced
looks like we're actually in American Tractors in game.
And yeah, now we
Yep.
got it on basically all of the vehicles. So if you have a close look here and you drive, you see that, yeah, it's three-dimensional
Yep,
and
3D
yeah, it's moving.
tracks.
Really, really pretty. But before
Yeah.
we start, you of course need to attach
Oh,
your
yeah,
disc
yeah.
arrow in the back.
Nearly forgot that. So let's head back to
Man,
my
when you
disc
harvest
arrow.
crop, it does look so much better.
Also new disc arrow
Yeah.
from Case. So yeah, it's like the first time we got from Case also some more tools.
Yeah.
Normally we only had tractors and combines and that stuff, but now we got also some tools here. So let's unfold it.
There's also every time I see these machines unfold, especially larger ones, I always have to think of integrators like yourself.
Yeah.
So many different parts to animate to
Yeah,
get these
really.
things just look
Yeah.
beautifully.
Yeah, sometimes it's really difficult, especially if the tools get really wide.
Yeah.
So also for American cultivators.
And when they start unfolding in sections and sections.
So sometimes it's really tricking and taking a lot of time to implement it well.
Yeah.
And to have it as realistic as possible.
Yep, he says that, and
now
custom
we
modding's been doing it for
unfolded
3
and
years.
then we can
And now let's see
Go
what all the
right.
fuss is about with these new and nice crop types.
yeah, so
Ground types, not crop types, of
yeah,
course.
the ground types. So if you cultivate now, we can see that there's also some straw still. So the stubbles of the field are still in the ground.
Yeah.
So if you would drive now with a cultivator, it would look different.
Yeah.
Because the cultivator is more bringing the straw under the ground.
Yeah, it
so you
basically
don't really
digs them
see-
underneath.
Exactly.
Almost.
So so that's the first edition here.
So this
But-
is like depending on if you're using disc harrow or a cultivator or a plow, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
It's always going to be whatever was on the field before. It's always going to look different. Of
Exactly.
course.
Yeah, yeah.
How the ground has been
so
worked.
the plow is also putting everything under the ground, so even more than a cultivator.
Yeah.
But all this stuff has also gameplay effects. We improved the weed system there a bit.
Yeah.
So if you drive with a disc harrow, you got more stubbles there, and this results after that the weeds grow faster.
Okay.
So you don't have that much time to get rid of the weeds. So it also has some kind of gameplay effects.
Yeah, I mean the main thinking behind the whole thing was that we want to reward the player for actually taking the time and working the field and like many different cycles and shifts. So if you take better care of your ground this way, that of course is going to reward you in some way or another within the gameplay loop.
Exactly. So if you, for example, you use the disc harrow, you can also drive faster. So, and it also has a financial benefit because the disc harrow is normally a bit cheaper than the cultivator.
I don't think they are going to do that, big dog.
For the weed, to control the weeds.
They always got a
afterwards.
balance.
Yeah.
If you got the money,
you have to choose. And yeah, before an FS19 it was all the same. So yeah, that's an improvement there. So yeah.
All right.
And you can also see our new effects here. They're like similar to the back of the combine. You can also see the
New particles effect in the back.
the dirt that is spreading after the disc. So we improved that as well and added a whole new bunch of ground and soil effects. Okay, so let's jump to another nice vehicle.
Yeah, some might have already seen this one on a screenshot or two. This is our Xerion, our classic Xerion saddle track.
Yeah,
Talk to you, Charlie.
one of my favorites. So.
Yes, I think this is your personal baby. You bringing it into the game from start to finish.
Yes, so yeah, it's in my opinion the best pre-order bonus we ever had. So it's not just a small tractor that is an addition. It's really a great addition
also
to the game.
for those wondering, so if you pre-order the game digitally anywhere, you will be able to get the class saddle track pack for your game, or you can also buy the game retail and it's going to be included if you get the disc version in the stores as well.
Exactly. So at the back of the Xerion we can also see the tools from Kaweco. We never had them in the game before, so
Don't
they're
think
also
so, no.
new. So we got at the back the slurry distributor and the tank on top. And yeah, as you have seen probably already on the website, we got also the semi-trailed tanker for that. So if you need to have some more slurry, you can use that. Okay, so but
There's ever a dog that's
before
barking.
we start to bring out the slurry, I want to have a quick look on the cow shed here.
This is also new.
Yeah, so it's from Rudolf Herrmann.
Yes, it's the
You can
first
see
time
too.
actually in game that we ever
Yeah.
have like a branded like animal husbandry.
Exactly, yeah,
Yeah, meet Joe
that's
for a second.
really a special thing. And they produce really great things here. So, yeah.
Look at our cows.
Look at our cows, they're beautiful. And they are eating there.
Straw milk slurry looks like
On
health.
this side, a pretty nice one. And you can also open
Milk
here
trigger.
all the gates.
New animal trigger.
You can have a look inside, of course, as
Yeah.
well.
And
There's also like the feeding area in the front.
yeah, so we improved here also a bit.
Just like going back to the old
Or if you
icons.
want.
I mean, they seem much more interactive than they were
Yeah.
before compared to FS19. So you will have all these little elements around the husbandries. You have opening sheds and doors, basically, and stuff like this. And of course, you're already parked near the slurry trigger right now.
Yeah. So that's an underground slurry tank here, and you fill it then from the top. And yeah, we got a bunch of little elements there on the placeables. Especially one nice thing is the lighting inside some sheds we have.
Yeah.
So it
The
looks
new lighting system of the
Yeah.
whole, like the interior design of
exactly.
it. So if it's night, you'll see those lights coming on.
Yeah, and you can also toggle them manually, so you can
Yeah.
just walk to the light switch and turn it on if you need it. So let's drive to the field.
And I mean, part of this of the pre-order bonus, like the whole saddle track pack, maybe just to summarize again, it's going to be the saddle track itself, of
Yeah.
course. And you have one of the Kaweco tanks already with the slurry distributor. And you mentioned it before, the other one was the other tank.
Yeah, the semi-tray
Yeah, the
tanker.
semi- exactly.
Yeah. So more for the bigger farms. This one got 16 cubic meters.
Yeah, exactly.
And the bigger one got a bit more. I don't know
If
the
you
exact number, but
if you have a few more cows and a few bigger
Yeah,
fields to
exactly.
take care of,
Yeah.
maybe
it's
that might
also-
be the way to go.
And it's also good to mount a bigger distributor.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
But now, of course, new slurry distributor also means that the ground is going to change again once we get started. So we see Stefan
Exactly.
already unfolding this. So if you want to fertilize your fields to increase your yield, you can do that.
yeah. So you can see it here. Yeah, it's
Maybe like the pre-texture before isn't the best to show on,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
do see it very slightly.
Yeah, it's a little bit darker.
the
And, yeah, now if you
wetter,
use the-
basically. Yeah, also
you
with
can
the
see here the
slurry.
border. Yeah. One nice thing, also the here this front arm.
Yeah, I was
So-
about to ask, what's that in the
yeah.
front?
So in real life, that is used to get the slurry into the tank. So normally you have one tractor with a slurry with a tanker
Yeah.
that is bringing the slurry to the field, and with that one you get the slurry into this one and then distribute it on the field. And yeah, you can also unfold that and move it. I'll show you that as well.
There you
You
go.
can see it unfolding, and then you can manually control that.
All right.
Exactly.
And I mean, something we have one more thing we want to show you guys. When taking care of your field, when fertilizing them, when using like slurry distributors or also like fertilizer sprayers, for example, we've in the past, we've had like fertilizer levels.
Yeah.
We had like in FS19, we had a 2, and we still have these in FS22, but now there's something new that we're bringing to the game for the first time ever.
Yeah, so it's a pretty nice feature if you got a lot of slurry and want to get rid of it. And
you don't have much time.
Exactly. So normally you have to
because
fertilize.
you need to get the take your disc harrow out before the weeds.
They haven't said anything about that yet.
So normally you have 2 fertilizer states, so you need to bring out the fertilizer twice.
Yeah.
But if you got a lot of slurry, you can toggle this feature here. You see it on the
Activate
top.
double
Activate
application
double,
rate?
application
What?
rate. So if you activate that, it will bring out the doubled amount of slurry.
And it's going to count basically as 2 fertilized layers
so
at once.
Yeah, you drive a bit slower because that it brings out the same the doubled amount. So you drive half of the speed.
Yeah.
But then you get the doubled spray state.
So with all these little geek features, as we like to call them, coming into play, I want to know from you, what's the main inspiration behind all of these? Is it something like when you're playing where you're saying, oh, this might be nice to have? Like, what's that spark that gives you the inspiration behind putting something like this into the game?
Haven't heard anything about that, Jake.
Sometimes it's based on user feedback.
Yeah.
But also a lot of times some of the colleagues come to me and say, hey, this would be great. And then we just implement it. So and sometimes also I think of, hey, this would be cool if we improve that a bit.
Yeah.
So sometimes
this is going to be
just
lame.
Little things.
What
that,
is?
Yeah, improve it.
Keep playing FS19
really
while we're all on FS22.
Especially maybe since it's already there in real life, maybe there's a way to bring it into the game. I think for me personally, the whole new gear system, the gear shifting system, is a perfect example of why didn't we have it in before? I mean, it's of course it makes sense, you know, you have it in when driving a car as well. But it always has to be optional as well, of course, for those players that it's a nice to have.
We'll find out, Cody.
And some might just dabble around with it for a couple of game time hours, but then maybe switch back. But it's always the nice balance between bringing in something new that makes it more realistic, of course, but also having that in as an optional feature, basically.
Yeah. And it also it has to be implemented well so that it works
that's the
fine.
thing.
So we also could have brought the gear shifting earlier, but if it does not work perfectly,
Fear my BST, welcome to the club.
It's also bad.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Breaking the stuff, making sure it works, hopefully.
Correctly.
All right. Well, I think with that, hopefully we were able to give you a little bit, just a tiny glimpse of what's to come in FS22. And if there's nothing else, Stefan, thank you.
I think they're about done,
for
guys.
showing us what you've been working on.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And we can't wait to show you more. But for now, back to
Oxy's
Martin.
probably got tons of ideas.
Thank you, Stefan, Marius, and Kenny, for this first look at some of the gameplay features of Farming Simulator 22. Bear in mind that there are smaller and larger features being added to the game. We will reveal more in the coming month until launch. And of course, our popular fact sheets will also be released again. It's time for our next ambassador, and this one is just full of energy. He is energy. Energy Sang from France.
Bonjour à tous, c'est Marlon ou Energy 5, un youtubeur français sur Farming Simulator, et je vais remercier déjà Giants de me permettre de faire passer un petit message à la communauté française francophone. Déjà merci à tous, cette année a été juste incroyable, on s'éclate tellement sur le jeu, je pense que je me suis jamais autant amusé sur un Farming Simulator. Les modeurs font un travail formidable et je pense que c'est grâce à eux qu'on s'amuse autant, c'est juste fou. On n'a jamais eu autant de modes français d'ailleurs, ni autant de maps et autant de maps françaises. Donc voilà, merci à tous, merci également à toute la communauté, tous les joueurs, on s'éclate vraiment comme des oufs et j'ai hâte de voir toutes les futures annonces qui vont nous permettre, je pense, de continuer de nous amuser comme ça. Allez, merci encore à Giants et à bientôt.
What we'd love to do now is talk to you. Listen to your feedback and answer your questions.
Yeah, it is
Join
custom.
the official Farming Simulator Discord server now, where we will be available during and after the show. Some of us will stick around there for a while and are eager to hear from you. For tomorrow's FarmCon, we are also planning to answer some questions you might have in person. How do we do that? We have set up a simple form, much like a letterbox, where you can drop your questions about anything Farming Simulator related. FS22, modding, brands, it's up to you. Of course, we will not be able to answer all of them, but we will do our best to go through them and select the ones that seem to really interest many of you. We have also gathered some questions.
There you guys go.
The
There
last
is
few
the
weeks
link
with the
right
help from
there.
our official
Actually, I should
Farming
probably
Simulator
put-
ambassadors. They have been asking around all over the globe in many languages and sent us their feedback. Lars and Kenny, I heard you have the answers.
Hello everyone and welcome to the first
There you
FarmCon Q&A with Lars Malczarek, Lizatan, the community manager, and with
Hey,
me
Liz.
is Kenneth, our QA lead.
Hello.
Hello! Nice to be here. Nice to be with you.
Same.
Awesome. FarmCon Day 2.
Yes.
We've seen some amazing things and
And
there
we'll
are-
see even more
Oh, yes.
down the road.
I'm so happy to... well, let's not talk about Day 3 now. Let's make that a little bit later. Let's talk about questions. So what happened here? Our ambassadors, you might know that we have a couple of ambassadors out there,
Yep,
have
our
been collecting
ambassador is
questions
Derp.
over the last
For the club.
2 to 3 weeks, I'd say, regarding Farming Simulator 22, regarding Giants, regarding whatever the hell came to your mind. And we will answer a couple of these questions. We can't answer all of them.
Console.
So many
Give us some
questions.
console answers. Console
Insane
answers.
amount of questions. We picked a couple. There were a lot of duplicate
slots.
questions.
I want to
that
know
we
the
won't,
next gen
cover it 10
upgrades.
times. We will just answer it once. And we will go
Just
through all
want the
these
game.
questions. Some of them will be
True.
answered by Kenny, that's why he's here. Some of them will be answered by me, and some of them will be answered by our professionals. And you're gonna see how that looks. That's why we have a nice little
Yeah,
screen
we have a
behind us.
few special guests.
We have a few special guests. So, do we want to start?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of questions.
Yeah, we
Let's
have a bunch
get
of
started
questions.
with them.
We actually printed them because there are so many.
I'm not going
So
to
we're
answer
gonna
that
read
right
the
now, Christian.
questions And we'll see what comes out of it. I'm going to start with the first one because the first one is definitely for you.
Okay.
It's from Easton in the USA. Since you are self-publishing the next farming simulator, will testing mods be as strict as the new game, as in the new game, as they have been in the past?
Well, yes, we're self-publishing for the first time ever. To be honest, that doesn't really have an effect on how we test mods, so it's basically going to be the same. We have, as always, our guidelines, which everybody knows, and we've been hearing lots and lots of feedback from the community on all of our different social channels, on the Discord channel, and we're definitely planning to take another look at the guidelines and improve them for the launch of the FS22 mod hub, and then we'll see where it goes on from there.
Yeah.
But there will definitely be a few changes, but all in all, just because we're self-publishing, that's not a real big impact.
No, there's no relation between these two things, right? Self-publishing basically means that we are going to sell our game ourselves. So if you see it on the shelf somewhere, if you see it in a digital store somewhere, it's us bringing it there. Doesn't matter for the QA team because it hasn't changed your work at all, has it?
No, not really. I mean, I've definitely talked to we're always in close collaboration with all the different departments, and I've checked with the mod hub team, and we're definitely going to be looking at the guidelines, maybe see what we can mix up a bit for FS22. But yeah, I'm eager to see how it's all going to turn out once the game launches, and we can't wait to see the creations the community always comes up with.
I've already seen some people having ideas
a few
for Farming
work in
Simulator
progress.
22.
Oh, Oxy's
And,
got a
some
lot
them
of
will be
ideas,
exciting.
guys.
Okay, so the next one, Lars, this is something maybe
Lancey.
you can answer. It's from Ash from the USA. She asks, as a female who plays Farming Simulator, she was wondering if there will be more customization options to make the game feel more welcoming to non-males, so to speak, like clothes, hair types, hair colors, shape of face, and the usual.
Yeah, so good news is that we changed a lot when it comes to character creation. I think we started with Farming Simulator 19. We made a lot of changes to character creation already back then. Still not enough. So
It's
Farming
never
Simulator,
enough.
It's never enough. So in Farming Simulator 22, the character creation will be improved. That's a nice little word, marketing word. It is better. So we have way more diversity, way more choices you can make with your character. I'm quite sure you will love it. Of course, there's always this, oh, it could be more. It's still not Photoshop though. You can't just Photoshop your own character. But we have a new character creation, and I'm sure you guys will love it.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
19, there was really no character
from
customization.
Chris in the United States. Will there be a better store search engine in Farming Simulator 22? Also a better category system for mods? That one is mean.
Well, it's actually two things we can answer here. So there will be a better sorting system, both in the store itself and also in the in-game mod hub. And we have this thing. I don't think we've talked about it that much. We have this thing called basically like you can call them startup packs. So when you're fresh in a fresh save game, starting out freshly, and you're not quite sure in what direction to go, these packs basically help you and give you a certain selection of vehicles and tools that'll help you.
Do you have an example for one of the starter packs?
Well, for example, if you want to do the usual arable farming, you're going to be able to get like a normal small cultivator, a seeder, harvester, and so on. And I think we also have some for animals. I don't want to get in too specifically because they, of course, are still work in progress. But there's definitely going to be that option.
So there might be some like potato harvesting where you get everything that you need for potato harvesting.
Yeah, that's the
and
main
then you
idea
have exactly
behind
what you need.
Exactly. That's the main idea.
Good for new players. I know the veterans out there, you guys are like, yeah, I know what to take. Well, you know, there are new players that have no idea. So
it's definitely something that's going to help a little bit with the onboarding to get into the different, because, I mean, it's a sandbox game. It's so vast in terms of how do you evolve? Are you going to do arable farming? Do you want to specialize in forestry? Do you want to just, I don't know, take care of cows or horses, stuff like this? So there's many different directions you can go, and these packs are going to help you along the way.
Absolutely.
Next one for you, Lars. Will seasons be an option to turn on and off? Basically,
got this question a lot yesterday.
Already with plowing and weeds. So is it going to be optional? And how will it affect maps from modders? This is something Jelsa Farmer from Norway wanted to ask.
Norway, nice. So, yes, it will be turnable, turn off turnable. What's the English term? You can turn it on and off.
Basically,
optional,
yes.
Nice, thank you. I'm not native, he is. Anyway, yes, you can turn it on and off. I think I've said it before on various community channels. If we make the game more complex, there usually is a way to still play it in an easy way if you want to. Seasonal changes, all these things, seasonal cycles, is a very complicated topic. It changes the way you play the game a lot. So yes, there will be an option to turn it off. And from what I gathered from our guys who know a lot about mods and mod creation, it will be easy to use on mod maps as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I heard. You are the mod expert.
But, I checked that as well. So it's basically modders will be able to also include this new seasonal features into their maps, similar as they're using it now with FS19 and the season mods. This is going to be like directly in the game. They can basically change weather patterns, stuff like this.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget that we have an expert from the old season mods with us. Jos is out there. And he knows a lot about seasons because he's one of the creators of the original Farming Simulator 17 mod.
The OG.
He is the OG. So the next one. Can we expect to see any big expansions in Farming Simulator 22 like we've seen with lodging in Farming Simulator 15? This one is from Westin in the United States. And that one is obviously not for you and for me. That one is for publishing. And that's why we're going to leave this to Boris.
What comes to mind first is production chains. This means, for example, that we can process the harvested wheat to make bread and sell that to a pizzeria. I think that's a humongous expansion.
There we go. Oh, that one is nice.
Pizzeria?
Super easy one for you. Are we going to be able to customize number plates from Blazer in Croatia?
Hell yes, of course.
Hell yes.
Hell
yes.
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 You're going to be able to
we can customize our plates,
symbols, characters, and just design it to your heart's content, basically.
You hear that, Joe?
There is a profanity filter, though.
There is, yes. That was something which we had to keep in mind, of course, because this, as with all things that can input text, you always have to make sure what kind of text is going to be displayed. So
for those of you who wonder that we are reading the questions, yes, we do have bullet points for the answers as well. We pre-recorded the show. I think this is not a secret. That's why we do have answers from our friends out there. So don't be confused if we always look at our nice little list. But, you know, we want to make sure that we cover all the questions. And of course, we had to find answers if we both didn't have them.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always good to get a specialist into the game.
Absolutely. And we have a couple more specialists later.
Definitely. So, Lars, something Yannick from Germany wants to know. Will Lizard be an FS22?
I love that. It's an easy one.
Of course, yes.
So Lizard is there. Lizard is our, well, home brand. Let's phrase it that way. It's the brand we made up.
The self-made.
The self-made, not really existing brand. We use it whenever we.
That way they can be like FSClub from United States.
Doesn't really fit into anything we have.
Yeah,
right?
it's oftentimes used, as I understood it, from its inception.
Hey, Mad.
It's
also,
basically
hey, Thomas.
whenever something is missing, like a particular tool or like a particular size that we don't have a brand or a tool to use in game, that's when we basically come up with the self-made solution. So we still want to give the players that big range of possibility.
That's
because
like,
sometimes
is FS22 going to have
there
mods?
Are possibilities that you don't need in real life. Like I remember when we
got rid of it.
Terraform for the first time, there was the Lizard options to create roads and
see, that's some good questions right there. I want to know if there's going to be crossplay. I want to know slot counts.
The
slot usage,
in
the
the
next
game.
gen upgrades.
So these are the things that obviously don't exist in real life. So
it seems like all these people who ask these questions are PC players.
Will the Kobe Eye-Tracker 5 continue to be supported
the Eye-Tracker
in
5.
Simulator 22?
That's a PC thing.
In 15, 17, and David from
I think they are.
Yep, just like with FS19, you can simply hook up your eye tracker, use that, and just like it was in 19, it's gonna work, and you can play wherever you look. The camera will turn. It's gonna track your head a little bit.
Pogo said that his FS number of plates would say bad driver. Yep, we know exactly.
That was a bad question.
Yeah, that's exactly what Pogos would say.
I don't play with it regularly because I don't know. I'm just not the guy to use it.
I have a feeling this is going to go bad. You know that?
Because I think I often.
But then customized plates, people are going to be putting some bad stuff on them.
The screen would basically jump to the side, but every time you do hook it
only
up,
9 likes away, guys. 9 more until we hit that 300.
This is pretty damn cool.
It is really cool. Yeah, I tried it once because I was
like, I'm
pretty
damn cool.
You know, I'm a traditional gamer. I'm like,
how does this even work?
This is not useful for me. Tried it once. It is a complete different experience. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! So you already know what mine's going to say.
I'm going to go with that one as well because it is one of our Boris questions again.
Oh.
It is: do you plan to continue to publish after Farming Simulator 22 without help, or find another publisher again? It's from Ted in the United States, and let's see what Boris thinks.
Why are they talking about future stuff?
Question, but no. We started self-publishing with the intent to keep self-publishing and to keep up with our fans'
guys, we just hit 300 likes
as closely as possible.
Let's give some more FSC bucks out.
Fans wish even more directly and accurately than before.
Yeah, you can tell he was laughing at the question. Was like, yeah, of course, he's not only here for one game because otherwise we would have to lay them all off.
Yeah.
Like we are done publishing. Bye, Boris. Has been nice 2 years. No, of course, this is here to stay.
Yeah.
Self-publishing is a thing now for us.
It's a huge step, but it's something which is exciting as well.
We shouldn't forget that, and I'm sure Boris can tell you more about publishing than we both could. But publishing is more than just having someone here who just does it. You know? We have built a whole infrastructure for that.
Exactly.
We have created new partnerships with retailers all around the world.
Distribution network.
Everything.
I don't know about that.
Doing that for just one game.
I just checked Collector's Edition on Amazon. I didn't see it.
But really foolish. Like, that wouldn't be a good idea at all. We shouldn't.
We have another one. You can answer this one, I guess. From Gavin from the USA. Will the landscaping tool be
There's
in
a good one.
FS22?
This is a good one right here.
It will be. Yes. And it is even better than it used to be.
What?
And if you are not convinced that I am right, I think we're going to have a landscaping tool presentation tomorrow.
Yeah, there will be something called the build
landscaping
mode.
tool.
And
build mode.
We're going to show you a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So tune in tomorrow on FarmCon Day 3 and you're going to see for yourself that
build
landscaping
mode?
is there and it's better than it used to be. The next one is the last one for Boris, from what I understand. This is what has been the biggest challenge and the biggest advantage of self-publishing?
Well,
it's
that's a
from
good
Chris
one.
in Edmonton. It's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Let's see what Mr. Boris has to say.
First, the biggest challenge. I think finding worldwide distribution partners in the shortest amount of time and being accepted as a full publishing partner by the various platform holders like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Valve, Epic, etc.
Talking about all these consoles, and why don't you actually talk
for
about
sure
the
that we're
consoles?
directly in the markets in all regions and can react to our fans' needs and desires.
You know what I like about this? You can tell that we recorded it with a phone, right? Because it's a little bit shaking and stuff. And we just went into
Seriously,
his
I wish
office
I can, like,
we
hijack
went
the
into his
stream.
office with the questions.
It's like quick
Tell me the
questions.
slot count.
Give me the answers.
And we're like, give us something about that. And you can see his laptop in the background. And I'm so happy it's not something confidential on there. Because I just realized it's just the box shot. So he seems to have worked on something with the box when we came in. Because that would be hilarious. We just film everything and then we just check it and we're like, we have to delete everything. So if you are never seeing this, there was something. But then you won't even notice. Yeah, or that. Or just like one of these, these incognito.
Yeah, exactly.
Bars.
Who is this?
That would be good. Will consoles be able to turn on hazard lights in Farming Simulator 22?
There we go.
It's from London in the United
Probably
States.
not. Watch.
Oh man, this question.
God, I see it like 5 times every day.
Yes, this has been going on forever. It's also something I, as a big I play on consoles as well in my private life, and I love the fact always that these kind of features are there, and I always is there something we can do? Can we bring it there? There's no final answer yet as of now. We're working on it. And we do know that many players out there that's something that many console players really want to have on their consoles. We are working on it, and if all goes well, I hope then we might be able to have them on the newer console generation versions. Because the reason for that, we've said it in the past, and I'll say it here again, is always performance. Yeah. And but with the newer consoles generations out there,
talk about the newer gen.
Definitely something that might be possible. So
like
we're
realistic beacons.
Our best.
Yes. No.
We shouldn't forget that PlayStation 4 and
Maybe
Xbox
so.
One. That's very old hardware.
They are pretty old by now.
It is
they have a
really
good
old
age.
stuff.
I want to
They
know
do
the
have a
next
good age.
gen.
So some things
features.
just don't work. I remember just in the podcast last week we spoke about the occlusion, the parallax occlusion. It's the same thing. It might run on everything. It might only run on powerful consoles. It might not run on consoles at all. We're gonna see because we are still optimizing the game.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's the same for the hazard lights.
You have to develop a game, then you have to optimize a game. Sometimes it's happening at the same time. It's very busy for us.
So there are just some questions where at this point in time we have to say we don't know yet, because it all, in this case, it all depends on performance and how good it will perform on console, because there is no point in having hazard lights but the game doesn't run anymore.
Exactly.
Right? So fingers crossed, it might come, but we don't know.
Another one for you, Lars. In the trailer that we've shown, the CGI trailer, it shows that there's a snowplow on a tractor. So the question was, will there be something like contracts for snowplowing parking lots or driveways to earn money during the winter seasons in game? Something Jackson from the USA wants to know.
So first of all, let me say that the CGI trailer is exactly that. This is I
cannot be stressed enough.
I feel like I've said that like a million times over the last 3 weeks. It is a CGI trailer. A lot of things that are in there are just in there to tell a story.
Well, thank you, Joey.
Especially with that trailer, because we are actually telling a story. There's a lot of storytelling elements. However, for the missions, the answer is a definitely maybe. Because we are still working on the missions. The mission system is not finished yet. We can't say yeah or no, because
if they don't, Oxy's going to get it to work.
Missions are still in development, and as of now, we don't have an answer. We might have a definite answer, or we will have, of course, a definite answer further down the line, but this is definitely not FarmCon.
Yeah, these are things that get more definite the closer we are to release.
Good, that one is nice. Will animal models, textures, etc. finally be available for modders as the resource to make our own animals or different breeds? from Bavarian Redneck.
That's an amazing username.
It's a nice username. That one is neither for you, but not for me either.
Nope.
We need one of our developers, and we're gonna have Mr. Marus here.
Please tell me yes.
So the animal models will still be protected. Yeah, it's because they're really complex, also with all the animations and that stuff, and LODs and all that stuff makes it really complex to mod these animals. So they will still be protected, but maybe we can look in the future to have modding support for the animals.
There you have it.
I just realized that the first thing I do now all the time is checking the laptops. Did it again.
If there's anything in the background.
It's fine. Okay, it's fine. Nice. Marus, well, over the course of FarmCon, you're going to see this guy very often.
Yeah.
We just seen him in the gameplay demonstration.
Yeah, we showed
earlier
a few
today.
things for FS22.
If you have missed that one, this is probably one of the best things to check out. Like if you tune in now,
and
the
if
Farming
you want to see
Simulator,
something from FS22,
Farming Simulator 22 gameplay demonstration we just had, a few minutes ago, definitely check it out. It's worth it. Okay, well that one is easy, I guess. Can we harvest grapes by hand, or will we need the expensive machinery? I'm thinking about smaller farms from Cheese, which is a great name as well, in the UK.
We know, especially also here in Germany.
That's a good question, Cody. I have no clue.
Vineyards and similar like grapevines, they are
I've been looking
often
for it.
harvested by hand. But I mean, we're a farming simulator game. It's about machinery, of course, so this is why we also focused on that part specifically for FS22. So there won't be any like manual hand-picking grapes or olives in the game, but there will be some really cool machines you can use for that.
And who knows, there might be very interesting mods.
Oh yes,
down the
definitely.
line that might bring these things in.
Everything's possible further down the line. All right, let's see. This is another good one
Not yet.
regarding the, as we had before, the seasons mode in game. How long will a full in-game year be, basically? This is something Quarters wants to know.
I'm actually happy that, that's one of the questions where I'm thankful that we had time to find the answer, because I had no idea. It's 12 days, 12 in-game days, I learned that. How long an in-game day is? Well, that really depends on how fast you play the game.
Yeah,
right?
We do have our different speed settings.
Exactly.
That you
I
can
think
use.
it's 12 hours on the slowest version per day.
Wow.
Or is it?
I'm not even sure on that one. I mean, we do have the
slowest should be 24 hours.
Time, of course.
Yeah, right. If you play in real time, it's even 24 hours per day.
Yeah, and then you can do double and more than that.
And I think the fastest you can come up with, and I have to check, is 2.5 hours or something on highest speed.
Yeah, I think it's 120 times as fast. That's the max setting we have in game.
Unless you know what to do, then it's way faster.
You know what to do.
Exactly. That one again. We are covering a couple of easy ones now. Will there be forestry-related production chains?
Definitely. I mean, this is something we also, if you haven't seen the gameplay demonstration, our good friend Marius.
Was that your question,
we showed
Landon?
a little bit about the production chains. Forestry in particular being one of the, let's say, branches of our game, of course, needed their own kind of production chain elements as well. So we have the usual sawmill, which you have in the game. Mostly like in FS19, it was a pre-placed area on the map. We basically changed that up to work as one of these factories, and you'll be able to produce boards, like wooden boards and things like that, basically. And there's a carpenter in the game. So these are like two elements that tie in more in this
I haven't heard anything about that, Thomas.
branch of the game that you can use then.
Nice.
Yes. There's another one. This is very good. It's from Lucas from Germany. Is the farming simulator community hard to handle? And a little smiley face.
Yeah, well, we need a smiley face. Is it hard to handle? I'd say at times. At times, any community is hard to handle, obviously. But most of the time, it's not. I mean, being the community manager for 4 years now, I worked on different games before. I won't go into much detail, but the communities there were harder
for Ubisoft.
to handle, not gonna lie. Most of them were.
Wait, no, actually,
also
that was chalky.
on what
that
kind
worked
of
for
game.
Absolutely
Ubisoft.
does. So this is the main point.
I don't know what he worked
for. The farming
for.
simulator community it's not a competitive game.
Yeah.
And in competitive games, the community tends to be more toxic because you want to beat your opponent, and it's not a guy you play with; it's a guy you play against.
This community is more of
multiplayer games and
console versus
where
PC.
Players do kind of try and play competitive.
That's what this is. You know,
still.
There are some, and there is the FSL. There is the FSL if you really want to go competitive. However, it is not I play against Kenny.
Yeah.
I play with Kenny, even if we are competing for anything, right? Like race for, I don't know, first million, whatever. So that makes the community a little bit more relaxed. We also have a lot of adults.
I should have went on there and asked a whole bunch of questions.
I'd say the range of 30
what about the
plus
improved slot
in
counts?
age
What's in the
is
next
quite high
gen
in Farming
version?
Simulator. Same for very
Let's
young
see.
guys.
Is the FSL League
nice.
thing coming to
like
consoles?
Most of the time, if you
Dedicated
get someone
servers
who's super
coming
nice,
to consoles.
they're usually like 10,
As you
11,
can tell, a
12
lot
years
of
old.
questions
Super
for
friendly
consoles.
people. So the community is not too hard
and they
to
do
handle.
work great together
Is
as
there
well.
another
Absolutely, absolutely. The only thing that gets a little bit more
Yes,
complicated
there,
over time,
there's
and
an
that's the
ask
same for
forum
any
thing.
community in the world, is basically because of social media, the community is super spread out.
/ask.
Back in the days, 10, 15 years ago, there was
David,
probably one or
welcome to the
two
club.
forums, for example, that you had to keep an eye on, and then you were done. This time, we have almost 90,000 people on Discord. And you might want to join Discord, by the way, for our FarmCon discussions.
Discord.
We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Twitch, we have YouTube. We still have the forums. There are like myriads of Facebook groups with thousands and thousands of people. So the community is not even a thing anymore. It's like a million tiny communities that we try to stitch together to a big community.
And that's a challenge for itself.
It is, and that's why we already have 3 people now.
Okay, we got to think of a really good question to
ask. It was enough.
Now there's a community team.
4 years later, it's a 3-guy team covering 2 time zones with Terminator being in the United States, so that we can cover as much as possible. So it is an easy to handle community, as in there are a lot of nice guys out there, but of course there are challenges, right? If we do something that you guys don't like, you will be very, very vocal about it, and then of course there are different opinions, and it's difficult at times. But in general, I'd say it's the best community I work with.
And it's really always a hard thing to try and please everybody. You can't.
You absolutely can't. I
try,
usually,
but it's always...
I usually use an example like, let's say Seasons, for example.
Yeah.
You know, Seasons was a mod that millions of people downloaded, but a lot of people didn't like it either.
Yeah.
So they deinstalled it. So if you do something like create a mod like that, there will be people who go like, oh, this was important, thank you. And some people that go like, turn around and go like, why do we need this?
There we go. I just submitted a question.
Why didn't you develop something useful instead?
Yeah.
Because, you know, some people like things, some people dislike. So you can't please everyone, but we try our best to please as many people as possible. And we need your feedback for that, of course. Feel free to just shout at us on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, anywhere. We are there, we are listening. And
what's the
totally
upgrades for the next gen console owners?
Do that. I'm honest. How does your research team go about... I need my glasses. Collating? Oh,
collecting.
That might be collecting. Yeah, that's where, you know, I'm still not native. I was like, what is that for a word? What did I miss here? How does your research team go about collecting all the information about what you decide happens in the next game? How is this then filtered through the development team as a final decision before creating what people want? That is
a real deep question.
And we have to go very high to get the answer from that. We went to Stefan Geiger, one of our founders, and see what he has to say.
Finding the right features for a new game is definitely not an easy task. I mean, what we usually do is by the end of the production of the previous game, or at the start during the patching phase, we kind of scan the forums, the Facebook, Twitter, etc., and also like YouTube videos for ideas and feature requests of people, and kind of get an idea of what could make sense to add to the game. And of course, we also have a huge list of our own ideas that we would want to add, and we basically just combine all of that stuff, try to find kind of groups of features, and then kind of make a decision based on that, what features could make sense to kind of combine, because sometimes a feature by itself doesn't make much sense, and it kind of requires a lot of other features as well. So we take those kind of groups and then really decide which of those we kind of want to put as the main features of the next game. And then from there we go and refine it and add more and more details to the plan.
Yeah, it is, Shane.
Also, other features
Thank you, Victor.
are also driven by contracts. So sometimes, of course, when we decide we want to add a feature, we specifically go towards manufacturers and try to acquire those brands we need for those new features. But sometimes it's also like long-term negotiations that were going on, and then based on the results of those, it can also trigger the addition of new features or new machines, etc. And of course, a lot of stuff changes as well during the development.
That's a nice question too, Angel.
When we add small things, we suddenly realize, okay, well, that other feature would be nice as well to fit well with what we added. And then we add those as well if we think it makes sense. And also, like, even now, while we're already publishing some information.
Yeah, what the hell? I haven't seen Rosie, the cow mascot.
New ideas coming in from your feedback.
The way you're sitting looks like my high school teacher. LOL.
We also try to
like
add
I'm sitting right
those,
now, or when I was sitting like
even
this?
in a very late state of the game, because that's
like this.
usually what we think makes most sense to really give the best experience in the end.
There we go.
That's an in-depth answer.
That's an in-depth answer, but that's what you usually get if you ask Stefan a question.
Yeah, also I really like that we have the possibility for the viewers to, get a little bit of insight from the source itself.
Well, that is the source. That is where it all began. Stefan Geiger, of course, one of the founders.
Do you see what Pop-Up just said?
Yeah.
You all know
He said
that.
Rosie is now hamburger
every time
thanks
you
to
ask him
productions.
something, if you have ever been to a physical FarmCon, every time you ask him, you get a good answer. You get an in-depth answer. He loves answering these things. And well, you need a little bit of time because he is going in depth, but you get the best answer you can get.
That's true.
It's awesome. Okay. Oh, that one is for you.
Another one for me, yeah.
I'd say most of the next ones are for you if I just have a quick look here. Will you be able to get achievements while playing multiplayer in Farming Simulator 22?
It's something we're still working on. Achievements in general are something that are we're trying to overhaul them a little bit and things for FS22. What we're definitely trying is maybe to do it that way that at least the host hosting the game would be able to get achievements. But yeah, it's not final yet. So another one of these we'll see down the line once we get closer to release how it turns out.
To be fair, achievements are something that you do really late in development, right? Because you need a game to be almost done in order to decide which achievements can work and can't work. So it's a little bit early for that question. And I know it sounds hilarious with only 4 months until the game comes out, but achievements really is something. It's one of the last things you ever do in a game. You finalize achievements once you have decided anything else.
Exactly.
Right. Cool. Do you want to do that one for Mr. Geiger?
Yes. So there was another question. Oh, this one is actually from Bulletbill.
From Bulletbill.
From the UK. He asks, will you be adding some form of multi-terrain angle as default? So the soil isn't permanently at either 90 or 45 degree angles.
And as I said, we're going to give that one to Stefan Geiger as well. Because
that's an question.
It is a dev question, definitely is.
Oh, come on.
Currently, the angles that the field texturing can have is still limited to 45 degrees. There's several reasons for that. One of the most important ones is the memory usage for the additional data that we would need to store. That not only means more memory on the client itself, but also we need to sync more data in multiplayer. We also need to store that data in the save games, and for some platforms that additional memory can be an issue. And then other important reason for us to not increase it is the visual quality. At the moment, the transitions between two different angles on the field texturing doesn't look particularly good. And to kind of reduce the number of angles to only 45 degree stepping reduces also the number of transitions you will see while doing field work. We, however, also would love to see a more granular approach here, so that's definitely something we have on our to-do list. So we need to solve a couple issues for that to make it really feasible without kind of blowing the limitations we have on the hardware. And but I cannot really say if that's going to be part of Farming Simulator 22
No clue, Christian.
or if that's going to be in a future update or a future game.
All right.
So
Hope that
basically,
helps, Bill.
no.
That would be good. I just like how you can tell that they just grabbed him somewhere.
Stefan, get here. We need an
there's
answer.
no fancy background or something.
Nope.
It's just grabbing him.
It's
Like, look,
just
we have questions.
People want to know answers. Give
Take a
them
look
to
at
us
that
now.
camera. Just basically, I love it. Thanks to, by the way, the Swiss team who got him to answer the questions. So this turns into an interview now because, as I
We
said,
have a few more
I think
for
it's
me.
only Kenny questions now and a couple for our developers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start. Is there going to be a way to run livestock similar to how they get run on ranches here in the western United States in large pastures? If I pronounce
That
this
would
wrong,
be nice.
I'm sorry, I'm still German.
If I watched, no.
Move them to fresh pastures when feed gets low,
Mm-hmm.
either in vehicles or with a horse or ATV from BL in the United States.
I really like the idea, to be honest. It's a kind of. Basically, we don't have the mechanics of like grazing or something similar like this in the game in FS22, but you will be able to basically use, for example, fences or similar to fence off an area like a pasture or a meadow, and you can load and also unload horses, for example. So you can like bring them there to maybe like a dedicated area where you would use them for like riding them to increase their fitness and so on. So that will be possible, but we don't have like a dedicated grazing feature or anything like that.
Cool.
Although I really like the idea. So who
Well,
knows,
you know,
maybe.
there's always the next game.
Yeah, that's
Who
true.
knows?
I've been saying that for a while, haven't I?
With production added to Farming Simulator 22, will players have a way to build in to store those products? Bale storage and pallet storage mods are popular with PC players and such would be great for slot count limited consoles to maximize performance versus rendering tons of pallets and bales. By the way, slot count still a thing in consoles.
Still a thing, yeah.
We can say that, I think. Slot count. So in order for you guys, and this is a little bit off the grid now, but to understand why slots are a thing, consoles have a limited performance, of course. You know,
Yeah.
there is a point where you're going too far, where the performance would just die, and that's why we do have slots. Of course, with
You
newer,
won't be happy. Continue playing. Trust us.
we tried. At least he tried. I didn't. I just trust on QA.
It
when they
ain't
tried.
pretty.
No, it ain't pretty. The thing is, with consoles, we know exactly where this limitation is. With a PC, you can't because everyone builds their own PCs.
Yeah.
You don't know where the limitation is. With consoles, you know exactly where this limitation is. People usually turn around and go like, oh, PCs don't have slots. They do. It's just not a slot count because we can't count it. But if you put everything on PC, your frames drop to 1, it drops to minutes per frame and not frames per second anymore, and the whole game crashes and everything. It's the same thing. It's basically you just finished your slot count just without a slot count on PC. So you need to understand that slots have to be there. It's just an indicator of where the limit of your console is. It's not,
where you are currently in the space,
exactly.
basically.
It's not us limiting what you can do in the game. It's just saying this is the end. Your RAM is full if you do that. It's over. All right, good. But for the question itself, we're gonna hand it over to
much
Mario
is the slot
because
count
he has
stuff?
something to say about it.
That's an important point. We made some decisions like only adding one pallet per type for production points. So you won't have multiple pallets of the same type using up space and object count. But you also have the option to set your output mode, for example, to automatic distribution, which will then directly move all the goods between the production points and not use up any space.
There you go.
Did he just say one
Easy
pallet
enough, I'd say.
per production?
Next interview
Yes.
question. Is there a stronger emphasis on animal livestock, such as breeding cattle and tending to their needs? From Matthew in Ireland, my good old Ireland.
Oh my!
I gotta rewatch that later again.
Oh my, yes, that's a good answer. I like where that is going.
Yeah, animals are really complicated actually this time around a little bit in FS22. So not only do we have the thing about breeding and tending to their needs, but they actually have different stats. So there will be, we will have several different like cow types, for example, and they will all differ a little bit in their use.
So only 2 pallets?
We have the Holstein cows, for example. They are perfect for producing milk on one hand, and Angus beef, that of course is has a great resale value.
They have Angus beef cows.
And each type is also, they have different ages for when they would breed to bring newborn cattle into onto your farm, and they all need different amounts of food as well. So it's all going to be a little bit more complicated this time around with all these different types of animals. And
what I heard about productions is about 1. That's what he said, right?
They will have different visuals as well. So all of them, they're getting new animations. We have completely new models.
That's really limited on console.
And yeah, they're looking really nice so far.
And I wonder if we just leaked a feature. Martin, if you watch this, sorry. It wasn't me. I'm not Leaker Time this time.
Oh, what was he talking about?
No, things have changed.
Yeah.
I think you can say that. Things have changed, and for the better, I guess.
Definitely.
It's more interesting, more complicated as well, as if our game wouldn't be complicated enough at times.
I sometimes don't know how the programmers get on with it, because it's like, this is so much.
But it's awesome.
It's definitely awesome.
I love it, and it's great. I think it might be the first time we spoke about it in this Q&A.
I think so, yeah.
But
I mean, we chose these questions for a reason, and this is a really nice one to kind of give you guys a little bit of another glimpse of what's coming.
Absolutely is. Next one is about consoles again, and that one might be super interesting for like 50% of our console players at least. What will be the new gen consoles PC include that won't be available on PS4 or Xbox One?
Oh, so here we go. Next gen.
Yeah.
Here we go, finally.
Well, it's very, very important for us to not like lock anybody out, any players, no matter if you're playing on a PS4 or PS5 or Xbox One or like one of the new Series X or S. So gameplay features and everything like that, this is all going to stay the same across all different console versions. This is something that was very important for us to the heart. There will simply be like a visual difference, of course, because the newer hardware, it has like a better junk in it, you know, so you will be able to really render like better compared to like an old gen console. So that's going to be the only difference between these two, but it's very important for everybody to still understand gameplay wise, feature wise, it's still in there, it's the same.
I think for PC players it's quite easy to understand, because we have old PCs and
exactly.
new PCs,
and we've been
PCs,
trying to support both for a long time already.
If you buy the game, I mean, all you do really is
you just said about the next gen.
It doesn't matter what PC you have, and then you just adjust the game to your needs.
It's probably be on like ultra settings.
Performance standpoint, like graphic and all these things. And it's the same with that.
Okay,
PS4
another good question.
Simply older hardware than a PS5.
Yeah.
So it's the PS5 game on lower settings and not a different game. This is quite important.
Yeah.
So 4K possible?
I definitely think so, yeah.
Nice.
4K possibly, you said.
This one was not on my list.
So this time, Martin, we're sorry if we're leaking anything.
Yeah, and love and kisses to the influencers who bothered me with that question for weeks now, and I had the chance to do it here. How open will the productions aspect be for modders? Oh, that one is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Will modders be able to expand this easily and maintain console compatibility? I can't pronounce that word. Last word, please.
Console compatibility.
Thank you. That's why we have an American in this company. That one, again, is for Marius, and I...
Okay, when they were talking about the animals just a minute ago, right?
Productions are built in a way where you can...
What were they talking about? Something about a feature they kind of let slip.
XML files. So this will allow you to have production points on consoles as well and create your custom mods.
Hold on. Trying to hear what
So
he's trying
after
to
all,
say.
you can expect lots of production mods for both PC and consoles.
Okay, can expect lots of production mods for PC and console.
That was quick.
Yeah, there you go. Simple, short, precise.
Easy enough. Nice.
Corn dryers, here we
run
come.
Through this because this is a long presentation already. Can you feed animals different crops? And I think you just touched based it in the last question. In Farming Simulator 22, like, can you feed cows sugar beet? From Caleb in Ireland again. All my Irish lads.
All the Irish lads. So you will be able to feed them the same crops like in FS19, but of course we have the new additions with sorghum, which you'll be able to feed your pigs, horses, and also for the first time ever a total mixed ration, which you can now also mix for your cows, of course, and use that to eat the animals basically.
How complicated is that though?
Once you get the hang of it, it isn't that complicated.
Well, that
once you've
counts
done
for
it,
every single aspect of our game. Once you understand how it works,
once you've done it once or twice, you're gonna be fine.
I see.
Thank
will
you, Ford.
bales be improved? Not solid like a rock, but actually compressed when you grab them. From Jake in Australia.
Well, physics are a very, very difficult thing to program. First of all, a very, very difficult thing to simulate correctly as well. We don't have any like major changes for them right now in the development standpoint because we're still a ways off from release, but we're always working on improvements down the line, and hopefully we'll just have to see what kind of features make it to the game down the road.
So we'll see. The last one for Mr. Marius.
Yeah.
Why is there a synchronization period in multiplayer? I think I answered that one like 100 times. You don't seem to see this in other games. It seems mostly unique to
Yes, you
Farming
can turn
Simulator.
seasons
From
off.
Alex in the United Kingdom. And we give that one to Marius, as I said.
There are a few things which currently cannot be synchronized asynchronously, but we made some major improvements for this title, and it should be much faster than in previous games.
There you go.
Well then.
There you go.
There you go. So synchronization still is a thing.
Yeah. I mean, just the pure amount.
It got way quicker.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen when you guys play with it. It got way quicker.
I mean, sometimes some players like to still complain about it, that it's a thing and everything, but thinking about just like the technical aspects, everything has to be, upon joining a game, has to be synced.
Yeah.
It's a sandbox game again, so many different complex elements that need to be like, you Lars join my game, I got to give you a quick snapshot of everything that has been going on for the, I don't know, past
Isn't an
year of my
FS19
server or
pallets are
whatever was
basically
running.
one slot?
And you basically
So they said in
sometimes you don't even
FS21
notice.
that
Join,
like
look, and done.
multiple
Well, the
pallets
thing
would be
is,
one slot.
and I said that a lot. This is one of my easiest questions to answer because I did it for 4 years now, pretty much every day. I see a lot of complaints from people saying, well, in other games you join, you get a loading screen, but everyone else can still play. The problem with that is that our game needs, as you said, synchronize the whole map, right? If you think about games where you just drop in, drop out, it might just be the position of the other players. So you join in after the loading screen, the map is just as it is, and then the players teleport for a second, and everyone is where it should be, and you can play. For our game,
seasonal cycles and snow can be turned off. It was still like, go through the months and all that kind of stuff, but it won't do nothing, nothing visually.
Everyone else
it'll like change visually, that's it. Like the crops growing cycle and everything will be just like how it is right now,
okay,
without
everyone's on the
seasons.
same page now. Start.
Exactly. If we wouldn't stop the game for that quick moment, I could
there is showed
continue,
gameplay.
I don't know, cultivating, and you would never get like
Which
you would
looks
join,
good.
and I would be 5 meters somewhere.
The harvesters,
else, and,
you would continue
so much better.
Yeah, your game just wouldn't know like what has he been doing in the 5 seconds that I'm already trying to get all the data straight.
So we need that quick stop. I think it's very quick in Farming Simulator 22 actually.
Yeah, it is.
It was already quicker in 19 than it was in 17, but 22 to 19, at least from what I've seen here. Of course, this is
that guy all the way over there.
This is due to like all the optimization
that's
we're not
that's large.
talking about. Of course,
that right there,
the
this guy that's
going
right
on,
where I'm at,
like on the code alone.
That is here. I'll show you right here.
Behind the scenes,
and that right there, that is the QA lead.
There, but it's
he's the one that like tests all the mods and stuff.
One, can we expect an upgrade to the multiplayer system with regards to mods? The current system of having to download each missing mod
here we go.
individually is incredibly slow. From Jake in the United States.
Yes, we will have a basically upon joining a game there will be a new button on PC that just says basically download all missing mods if they're from ModHub.
It has to be from ModHub.
It has to be from ModHub, of course. So if you're basically playing and somebody's using ModHub mods, only ModHub mods, then it's going to be for anybody else joining the simple download all button. He's going to grab all of these because we know they're in the database of the ModHub, so easily just grab them, join the game, done.
Perfect. If they're not on ModHub, obviously we can't do that
because
they're not in
PC.
our ecosystem.
That's a PC only feature right there.
Make sure that works. Nice.
Great.
The last one
So we start the
is a
search.
very generic one. It says, what are you most excited about in Farming Simulator 22? And before you answer that, we leave it to all the three guys we've just seen.
Yes.
And then we talk about it and finish this.
Moments.
We start with Boris.
Definitely production chains. When I first heard of that, I went, oh wow, finally, I can do something with the stuff I harvested. And I'm really eager for that.
There we go.
Next one, Mr. Maurus.
There are a lot of things in the new Farming Simulator that are really great, in my opinion. So the one thing is the parallax occlusion mapping, which gives way more realistic view on the ground. So it's like 3D, and also which is really great is the gravel roads. So you really see the small stones that are staying out of the ground. So that is a really great addition to the game. And also I really like the new vehicles that we got. So we got a lot of vehicles, a great variety of vehicles. So new vehicles, old vehicles, and especially on the old vehicles, I really like the manual.
Okay, guys, we're only
shifting
13
tractor.
likes away from
the manual
350.
shifting
Let's see if we get
itself
350
and
before the
sound,
end.
How that behaves and how it sounds in the game. It's really amazing, and I really enjoy that.
I like how he's smiling all the time because he's responsible.
He is
for
excited.
He's responsible for so many of the features that are in Farming Simulator 22. You know that he's like, I could talk about this for years. Like,
Exactly.
They haven't said console map
so the last
size.
one is Mr. Marius again.
For me personally, it's lots of small detail features which we added, like the info box in the bottom right, from previous games for the field info, which is now available for lots of different use cases and helps the player to see what's happening and give lots of information.
There we go. I think everyone has something. What's your number one feature? What are you most excited about?
I mean, it's really hard to pinpoint because all of the new features coming into it, be it the seasonal growth or also our new system with the grape and olive vines, they're all cool. I think just because it ties in all of these so greatly together, for me, it's gonna be the production chain system. Just because of that's really something that has kind of been missing before from the previous entries, and I think that players can really this time around focus on more of the little bit more managing aspects of the game, managing their process chain and everything. So I think it's going to open up a lot of new ways to actually play the game. So that's going to be my top pick.
Yeah, well, I was about to say production chains, but I've said that in interviews before. There are a couple of other things I love, so I go very quick over them. So the first of all is we are not talking about that one. There is one thing we haven't, but we're gonna talk about it, and then I'm gonna turn on go. It's a tinier one, but I love it. You're gonna see. The second one I really want to stress because I love it is the new sound.
Yeah.
If you have no idea what we're talking about, we're gonna have a sound presentation tomorrow, where we go over the new sound features. But if you remember back in the release window of Farming Simulator 19, we had a lot of complaints about sound. We got tons of feedback. And I wrote, like, I don't know, 20 pages of feedback and sent it to developers back in the days. And they took that serious.
Yeah.
And they did a lot to the sound. And I like where this is going. I really do. I'm quite sure you're going to enjoy the new sound features that we're going to show tomorrow.
Let's just
I
say
like it.
FS22 sounds amazing.
It really does sound amazing. And we're going to prove that to you tomorrow. Other than that, as I said, there is a feature. Well, there are two features actually that we haven't announced yet that I'm excited about. As I said, tinier ones, but as you know, I just like the tiny ones. I was excited about no rain through roofs back in the days when we announced it for 19. It's tiny things that get me excited. We're going to talk about that later, I can promise. For now, we are done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny, for taking the chance to
Thank you for having me.
all these
I hope
questions.
I could give a little bit of insight.
Yeah, we hope you liked that Q&A. We do have another Q&A coming up. There is a form that you can fill, a Google Doc. Link should be somewhere. I don't know when. I'm sure our video team will have it somewhere. Feel free to add some questions that we're gonna answer tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we do another Q&A tomorrow. Might not be us, might be the developers, might be us. Who knows? Depends on the questions you guys send in. And if you are interested in getting more questions answered, feel free to add questions. For now, thank you for being here. Thank you guys for listening to us. I hope it was.
Thanks for sending in the first batch of questions.
And
Those
thanks
were
for
great.
the ambassadors to gathering them. And no thanks to Kerminator because he's not
But yeah, he is now part of our team.
He is a community manager now.
Definitely.
So he is responsible for gathering the questions now.
Yeah.
That's
That's really nice.
Anyway, guys, it has been fun, has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. As I said, if you like what you've seen, tune in tomorrow for more. For the sound presentation, I can't stress this enough.
Yeah.
This one is awesome. And for way more other things. Thank you, guys. Have a nice evening. And we're going to see you tomorrow, I hope. Bye.
Bye-bye, folks.
Some really good questions. Thanks again to all ambassadors who helped us with collecting them. As I mentioned before, if you still have anything you want to know or just want to hang out and chat with us, head over to the Farming Simulator Discord now because this concludes Day 2 of FarmCon 21. Also, you can still submit questions through our letterbox forum. We will take a look at those questions tomorrow morning and answer as many of them as possible tomorrow evening when we are back for Day 3 of FarmCon 21. Tomorrow, we will show you a detailed look at the new crops, the build mode, the changes to in-game audio, and as a special warm-up for this Farming Simulator League tournament this weekend, our friends from the Stark magazine will let FSL teams compete against each other in a real-life bale stacking challenge with real tractors. Yes, I heard some of them even had to get their tractor's license first, so I'm sure this will be a blast to watch. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.
Okay, so that right there, guys, was FarmCon Day 2. EMC Kaylee, welcome to the club. Okay, guys, so that is going to be everything right there. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys are excited about that they just announced. Probably to me, Productions, the Harvester, you know, the chop straw brings out, it looks a lot better. The ground textures do look really good. What else? Productions that... There's also something else, too. Can't think. Saw a lot of things I'm excited about. We also heard a lot of things that I'm not excited about for consoles.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, yes, a lot of people are going to be still on, you know, PS4, Xbox One, and they are consoles. Some of them are consoles from, like, 2013, so kind of can see their point. Looks like, you know, the next gens are all going to be getting visual upgrades, so that's a plus. How long is today's FarmCon for? It was for 2 hours. So tomorrow, that means tomorrow we're going to be looking at new crops, the build mode, which I'm very excited to see what that is, sound improvements, and then a star challenge real life bale stack. I'm actually interested to see these people try to really bale stack. Okay. Okay, but anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it off there. Have an amazing day, guys. Remember, tonight we'll be streaming at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tonight we'll be on PC. Probably be doing Oklahoma map. Have an amazing day, guys. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
Later, guys.
Later, guys.
Yep, same time tomorrow too.
4 hours.
Oh yeah, landscaping. Yes.
Man, I always had stories about the city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. 'Cause up here it's brand